there needed to be more chatter before this music, but no, they didn't hear it. Everyone who's listening to this podcast right now didn't hear the 10 minutes of preamble. And
you chose to do it the regular person way.
Yeah.
We had like a whole cruise discussion. Justin's apparently the cruise master. He's been on like 12.
I was going to ask about Starburst flavors, but we were very deep in our cruise talk. Yeah, very deep.
Yeah, no, we have it on good authority that we have to get right to the content. No more babbling, all right? We got people that want to just get right to the point, all right? And we're doing it this week. It's week 13. We're headed into week 13.
So.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're like on the doorstep of the playoffs, and I should probably say the name of this show. It's another fantasy football show presented by Sports Injury Central. I'm Justin here with Jacob and Taylor, and it's nice to be back home. If you listened to last week's episode, I apologize. It sounded horrible. I was the problem, right? I was everything I didn't want to be.
Let's take pride in that, Justin.
You're the producer,
like garbage,
right? You're supposed to make things better, right?
Yeah, and I kind of ruined it.
You
last
just had your feet up on the bed, and yeah.
Oh, the video was amazing. Yeah. Go to our YouTube channel, Sports Injury Central. You can watch full episodes of this podcast and Pro Football Doc podcast. Last week's episode, I was just chilling on my in-laws' guest bedroom bed. It was
feet up,
yeah,
got the bird, everything.
To be fair, this chair I'm in right now is probably more comfortable than that bed is, but I can say that because my in-laws don't listen to this. I don't think, but
I know you're insulting their bed. Jeez.
Yeah, whatever. Get a better bed. It sucks. All right, let's get right into the Week 12 injury rundown. Some things have happened, actually, just minutes before this podcast started. So, what do we got?
Yeah, biggest news of the day is Lamar Jackson leaving practice early with a quad injury. We're still trying to get all the details. Obviously, if that's a new injury and a strain, he's not looking good for this week. The hope is it's just a thigh contusion that they're calling a quad. We're looking back through last week's games, but didn't really see much. He played the whole time against Jacksonville, so anything quad leg injury related, Lamar Jackson's a big red flag because that can linger. I mean, the ankle knocked him out of fantasy playoffs last year, so no one wants that this close to the playoffs.
Ravens can't catch a break. They have the worst statistics score in the whole league, and according to our algorithm. And every single week, starting from week 1, they were picking a couple things up. It was getting worse and worse. It's starting to middle out and get a little better the last couple weeks, but this would surely dampen it a lot if that happens.
Well, we're talking a little bit about Tyler Huntley. It could be him plugging in for Lamar Jackson, how that affects Mark Andrews. We can get into that a little later. Najee Harris with the abdomen. We're waiting. He was limited today. They're calling it an oblique. I think he didn't practice actually with the oblique. So that'll be one to watch. We're going to look back to see if it's rib cartilage or just an oblique. Obviously, he's not a pitcher. He doesn't throw the ball. So oblique injury wouldn't normally be a concern for running back. But as we saw with Aaron Rodgers last week, it could be labeled oblique when it's actually rib cartilage because that's on the side of your body.
Would you say it's looking bleak for Najee Harris this week?
Can he do that sound that he does to the wah thing?
Yeah. There it is.
Okay. I deserved it.
I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to impersonate it for you.
I don't have the power, yeah.
Little better news, Travis Etienne. Seems like it was just kind of a scare with that foot. Remember, it was the same foot that he had to list Frank in his rookie season. So it sounded like he was clear to go back in. We'll track his practice report this week, but hopefully he will be full go against the Lions. That's a big fancy matchup for everyone who has that, especially
Lions don't play D.
Lions don't play D, so it's always a track meet, them and the Seahawks.
For sure.
Aaron Rodgers sounds like he's planning on playing this week. We detailed at Sports Injury Central that he can take the rib block injection to play. The Packers aren't mathematically eliminated. Maybe he saw how good Jordan Love was looking, and he was like, don't want to lose my job, But
I was surprised in that, so I would be a little terrified too. But that's how he came into the league, remember? So
guys, I'm going to be honest. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is scared about losing his job. They're paying him way too much money. He could kill a man right now, and they'd be like, "We still got to start him. We're paying him, right?
We got to. What else are we going to do with him?"
If Brett Favre was doing what he's doing now while playing, would he be able to play?
He wouldn't need to.
I don't know.
He'd be in the bag.
Yeah, we don't talk about Favre though.
He's fallen off the face of the NFL planet. Joe Mixon with his concussion LP'd today, which is a great sign. Just the 1 week missed for him. So hopefully he will be back in full go. Justin Fields, the other one to watch. LP with the shoulder. AC joint sprains, especially grade 2s, are usually 2 to 3 week injuries. Lower grade is a 1 to 2 week. It seemed like Justin Fields is right in the middle of that. And also, what do the Bears have to prove by throwing him out there?
Right.
They lost Darnell Mooney. They've traded 2 of their best defenders. David Montgomery might be the one they ride. Trevor Siemian was also, I don't think he practiced today with the oblique. He was either DNP or limited. I'll have to double check that. But might be Nathan Peterman, which we all thought we were going to get right before the game last week. in Chicago. So that's an interesting one.
They don't want that, so they're trying very
Trevor
hard.
Siemian
to
wasn't
avoid
bad.
that.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
going against the Jets defense, so
Right.
anyone's going to look bad. But he held his own. Shout out to Mike White against their defense too.
Mike White.
He's
Pretty
a
good.
offense. If you look at anyone scoring when Zach Wilson came in that offense, it did not go well. So Elijah Moore is back from irrelevancy and trade rumors, all that stuff. So
He helped.
good for him.
Yeah, he helped that offense go, and like you said, now Elijah Moore might be a thing. Garrett Wilson looked fine, so
Yeah, Elijah Moore was lighting this flat Earth on fire. Like he was really just going crazy out there.
shut up.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
It's not fair. You're in control of the soundboard. We need another want.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'm on a roll.
3 and you're gone, Justin.
Okay, all right.
Kyle Pitts, unfortunate news for him. He underwent surgery. His season's done on the MCL. Interesting because our panel doctors say MCL sprains typically don't need surgery. His was grade 2, so a little on the higher end, but hopefully that means just full go for him next season. He should have a full offseason program.
Right.
Daniel Bellinger on the Giants. Everyone forgot about him because he got punched in the eye and hasn't played since. But he LP'd today, so hopefully he can be back for the Giants. He probably immediately plugs in as the main pass catcher there. I don't know if it's Richie James or Darius Slayton, but Richie James has been kind of hampered with a knee injury lately anyways.
Yep. James is a little injured. Yeah.
Chase Claypool popped up with a knee as well. Don't know how fantasy relevant he is. People relying on him. Their lineups are probably just he's so boomer bust these days. But I don't know if Trevor Siemian is an
there was a
upgrade for him.
moment there where things were kind of growing with Fields. Obviously, whatever's happening with Fields, it's there's no.
I talked
reason
about
to
it when
bring
it
back,
happened.
but yeah.
I like the situation. I know the move was definitely for the future,
Right.
Because
Right.
like he's a young kid, he's still got the rookie contract and stuff. So I totally understood that. But like, it doesn't take too long to get incorporated in offense, and if it takes you a long time, then you made the wrong trade. Maybe. Like I don't know, Robbie Anderson hasn't figured it out, or it's what Justin originally thought that Robbie Anderson's just not good.
I think it's their O-line too. They
think
got
we
4 guys
know.
out, so
I think we know about Robbie Anderson. I don't think
Yeah,
that's a mystery.
Okay. But
it's not like the jury's out on Robbie Anderson. He might be great.
no.
No,
Claypool's had like pretty decent years. Like so like he's something that needs to prove himself. He was obviously not liked where he was in Pittsburgh. So I mean, he has the opportunities, and like even when next year when they go into a new season, you know, when you're doing a dynasty league or something, he's an interesting option because like Byron Pringle shouldn't be there anymore. Equanimous St. Brown
They're
shouldn't
probably
be-
going to add a wide receiver, but he's
Yeah.
still going to be in the fold. And
he should
I
never
still
be the one. He
Yeah.
should be a 2 or
Claypool
3.
and Mooney,
Yeah.
I think is a good
It's a good
baseline,
combo.
You know what I mean? That's not bad. You could probably.
I think
get,
you
like,
need to get a number 1 there though. I think
I
Mooney's
think
a really good 2 and
Mhm.
Claypool's a good 3.
I think if you got somebody like it doesn't even have to be like an alpha, but like a pseudo alpha. I don't know who that
Pseudo
like
alpha
Marvin,
is correct.
Like
yeah.
Marvin Jones. I feel like he's like the type of dude that could come into like this wide receiver room and just level it out, and like that's. I feel
We'll
like that's
talk
for
about
some
him.
reason
like a
Marvin
couple
Jones
years
just
ago.
seems like the guy.
What is
No!
going on?
No, I just
He just said
Marvin
he
Jo-
he just said
I
you
did
need a
not
1, and he was
expect
like
you-
Marvin Jones.
I did
I'm
not
not
expect
saying
you
a
to say
1.
Marvin Jones. I thought like maybe like something
Who?
way better than that, like Terry
I'm
McLaurin or
saying
something.
an attainable wide receiver that you could bring into the wide receiver
Attainable.
room and level it out and like make it. I don't know. He
Terry
just seems like a
McLaurin.
good veteran to bring in that just does whatever you might be missing at the time. So I don't know. Maybe
Oh,
Kenny
so you
Galladay.
just need like a little like veteran. I thought you meant like a guy that can like he's.
I'm not saying
Marvin
an
Jones hasn't been an
alpha.
alpha. You said
No.
you said semi-alpha though.
I said pseudo alpha. Like
Pseudo
he's
alpha. Marvin Jones hasn't been a pseudo alpha since he was with Calvin Johnson.
no, but what I'm saying
I don't even know if he was.
I don't know.
He was, though.
It
Yeah,
just
he was.
he always seems like he could do something in a given week. I'm not. See, now we're going on a tangent here where it looks like I'm advocating for Marvin Jones to be a wide
Yeah, I
receiver
mean,
one.
I'm not trying to
I'm
turn
not.
you into something.
You're close to your third want. Just be careful.
No. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna stop talking.
Is that a
But
strike through your
anybody?
outcome?
There's a
Yeah.
Bears fan out there that's like, or no, maybe a Jags fan right now that might understand what I'm saying. But maybe is there even do Jags even have fans?
Jags have fans.
Do they? Oh, okay.
They just beat the
All right.
Ravens. They
Okay.
were loud there.
Oh no, that was a fun game though.
That was a
Good
big
win.
game. Yeah.
We'll talk about Trevor Lawrence a little later.
Say Jones. Yeah, come on.
The
The right Jones, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah.
Speaking of alpha dogs, Jamar Chase is reportedly expected to be back from his hip this week. It was a week 7 injury or week 6 original injury. Week 7 he aggravated it, so 6 weeks was always the timeline. This is closer to that 6 weeks,
Right.
so they'll probably still try to ramp him up a little bit. Maybe not full involvement, full 10 targets, double digits, anything like that, but good to see him back out there.
If you have
Fantasy
him, like,
playoffs, right?
I
right.
have
He's
him
ramping
in
up for the
2
fantasy
leagues.
playoffs. That's what you need.
I have him in 2 leagues. I starting him. I don't even care. Like in the off chance that he catches
I
a ball
fully
and scores
don't blame
a
you at
touchdown,
all, yeah.
I'm not even if he's limited. Like I get 30% snaps, I want that in my lineup.
No, what I
mean-
see him relevant is that he can get in the red zone and catch a touchdown. I don't see him
Sure.
get worked around the field like that. But like you said, you can start him and get like at least 6 points if you can get a touchdown in some way.
It's just
Yeah.
an upgrade for that whole offense because T. Higgins needs that guy. He needs the guy taking attention away from him to get all the in-between stuff.
Right. Like even like you said, that brings a good point. As a Higgins guy, if Chase is coming back, I wouldn't be scared because Chase isn't going to be 100% yet. So that actually takes eyes off Higgins and lets
They might even lean on him a little bit more, yeah. Last one I got is Romeo Dobbs. I didn't know he was back in the fold from
this
his high
guy.
ankle, but he logged a limited practice today. So
Watch out, Chris.
It's crazy because it used to be him and Watson fighting, but Watson's clearly got the stranglehold in that fight.
well,
Right?
every week I'm just like, how is that sustainable? He catches a touchdown every week.
That was a good. I mean, he got yards with that touchdown though.
Yes,
All
he did,
that was-
63.
That was pretty
Yeah.
good.
He kind of did nothing before that. It's just that
Don't-
was the
don't
whole
look at
game. I
that.
mean,
Hey, don't
it's
look at
Philly
that.
secondary. I'm not bad mouthing him. It's Philly
Yeah.
secondary.
No,
long
that's
as
an
you keep it
interesting
up.
situation. I also have Christian Watson in any league I have him in. It's like, how do you bench that? Like it
You
is
can't,
no,
it's
you
all-
can't.
like you said, it's an
sustainable.
automatic 6 points at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, you just ride it out and see what happens. Especially if Rodgers comes and plays against the Bears. Like it's like he
Which
freaking
we
loves that.
fully expect him to at sixscore.com
Yeah,
to play.
exactly.
Then there
No,
you
he's
go.
not. He's not sitting out.
Yeah, so then put player Christian Watson's and
He's what Jahan Dotson was early in the year. He's just taking that crown from him.
yeah, Jahan Dotson, man.
I love
R.I.P.
Jahan. Jahan.
Thought there-
Hamstring for your speed guy. Not good.
Whoopsie.
Not good ever.
All right, let's get into dudes and duds.
Dudes and duds.
Who wants to go? You know what? I'll just go first. I'll just get it over with. I want to sit back and listen to you guys talk. But I'll start with my dude of the week, and it's not somebody. I guess it's not like an over the top, bang you over the head dude. All right, I had to dig a little deep. I had to.
It's
like-
boring.
yeah, it's boring. It's definitely a boring dude. But this is
Right.
more
It's
of
a
like
boring
a
middle of the
future,
road dude.
a
Yeah.
future gem dude. I'm feeling like this could be something in the future. I'm happy with what I saw. Rashad White, running back for the Bucks, 14 carries, 64 yards. Okay. 9 catches, 9 targets, 9 receptions, 45 yards. The yards, depressing. It's the 9 targets for I guess 9 targets, 9 catches is really like in a PPR league. He probably did very well for you. Like that's really good.
That's Ramondre territory.
Mm-hmm.
The Buccaneers are a team that I don't like to watch.
They're a bad team.
Oh no, who would?
What sucks is like anybody who's a fan of football, you'd think like Tom Brady and Chris.
I thought they weren't in
Godwin's-
the playoffs when we were talking on the Pro Football
I know.
podcast on Monday. They're in it for some weird reason.
Well, what's
Because that
crazy? We were
division's
talking
awful.
about it's the division.
exactly,
We were
yeah.
talking about Mike Evans too, and we're like, oh, he's nowhere near 1,000 yards this year. He has 700. Like
He
he's
is.
just
Yeah.
undercover.
They're like the most like boring, but like stat like they're
Like
accumulating
he's
stats.
definitely getting to
like-
that 1,000-yard season.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
that extra
so
that extra
quietly.
game, that extra game will definitely put him over the top.
Oh, exactly.
But aside from that, whatever was going on with Leonard Fournette, like I don't know, even if when he comes back,
He
Rashad
might
White.
not be coming back to a job, right?
I know that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
Rashad White looks better in an offense that looks
He
bad.
does all the same stuff, but he does it
So,
better.
If he gets a touchdown at any point, you're like,
game over.
This is an
Yeah.
awesome week for Rashad White. So I think he definitely looks better than Leonard Fournette.
9
Obviously,
catches is
Leonard Fournette-
unsustainable, I would say, but
Yeah.
I would say he can get 4 to 5 every single game. He's that kind of player.
Yeah,
so.
especially if their game script keeps going this way, right? Like, if
And
they're
Brady does
still
like
gonna
to
be bad.
throw to the running back in his last couple of years he's been playing, right? So he doesn't throw it as deep. So it's
So I'm
definitely a key
saying-
part of their offense.
He's a deep dude. All right, he's a deep dude right now.
A deep dive dude.
Deep dive dude.
Triple D,
And
right?
I think moving forward, he could be a dude for you. And
I think
and
Tristan Wirfs is going to
Aw.
help
this-
that too.
This message sponsored by
Brought to you
myself.
by
Yeah.
Justin
Yeah.
Robb. Yeah.
I think Tristan Wirfs is going to help that too, losing the right tackle. Brady a little more under pressure. He's going to dump it down to Rashad White.
Quick release. Yep. Yeah.
They
absolutely.
were last in the league in rushing, so it's not like Leonard Fournette is owed his job back. A little bit of that as the O-line, but Fournette's
The only thing I'd be worried about, just to like throw a slight wrench in your thing, is that I do think Fournette will steal touchdowns. But
He
the
will.
one thing you said that is really
He wasn't
key
even
though
getting them.
is that exactly. But he will get the goal line. The thing is though, he's not getting this intermediate stuff in all the catches, and that's what made Fournette valuable. So now it's White, and like you said, all that other good stuff you said, that this is a key person you should be using get down the stretch.
all right. Taylor, who's your dude?
My dude is same team, Godwin. I've been feeling like I don't know. That's how you said we're both like weirdly like hating on him, but they got some guys doing well.
Sometimes bad teams can still produce fantasy relevant players. Like that's
Right.
that's the
Usually
whole
the
point.
worst teams produce
Yeah.
the best fantasy. I mean, look at the Lions.
So the
We
last
got
couple
here, yeah.
weeks, Godwin's been playing really well. Obviously, we were kind of down on him at sixscore.com due to the ACL tear that he had last year, late in the year last year. 12 catches, 110, a touch. Like he's had a multiple games. I feel like in the last couple of weeks that looks like he's finally back to old Godwin. The kid's electric when he's healthy. Brady loves him. Very consistent route runner. He's always open. It helps Godwin out too when they're feeding Evans. Helps Evans out. Yeah, excuse me.
Godwin,
Sorry. Yeah, so that's very key for that offense. And you are seeing a little bit. The Bucks are playing a little bit better of late, which is interesting. So
he's gotten an absurd amount of targets.
Yes.
13 last week, which is crazy, but he's
Brady
been
loves
right
him.
around 10 to 13 the last like 5 weeks. Like that's
and it's interesting, and that's what we actually thought was weird when he first played this year. We were like, oh, he needs to be eased in, and he had like 5 to 6 targets in the first game, and then he got a
to him and stuff.
yeah,
like,
and then he picked up a hamstring, and he missed a couple games. So finally, they're figuring it out. He looks like he's better, he's healthier, and this is a good thing because he's one of the premier fantasy players. He can help you out a lot. Like you said, his targets are never go away. He has an incredible connection with Brady, and that will help you. Like you said, this is the fantasy playoffs. Every single thing that's trending in the right direction, you need to latch on to because those are the things that are going to help you win.
Speaking of that offense, Julio Jones or Russell Gage, who's going to figure it out?
I've
Who's
actually
gonna
been rocking Julio Jones of late. Julio Jones isn't getting the honestly you're expecting the fantasy points that he used to get, but he's good for a touchdown every once in a while. Yeah,
touchdown streamer.
He's getting 40 to 60 yards. If he gets a touchdown, it makes your day obviously even better. He gets 4 catches now. Gage is just that hamstring. I don't know if it's the same one. He's been dealing with it since preseason.
I don't know
and
how
he can't
it's
get
still
over
lingering,
it.
Yeah.
And I remember watching a preseason. I was all over Gage because he had a very good connection with Brady, and it looked like in training camp, and they were starting to figure stuff out. And he was good with Ryan. He's a good route runner. He helps out, especially as a second guy. So Jones is definitely, I think, it's a better option going later, later in the stretch run for everybody in the playoffs. But Gage can help if he finally is healthy, get that one streaming game. But right now, I would continually use Jones.
Who do you start this week? Julio Jones or Jamar Chase coming off injury?
Oh, you get Chase because Chase
okay,
is
all right. See, I'm trying to find the floor. I'm trying to find the floor right here.
The floor is definitely right. No,
right around Julio. Yeah.
Julio's boomer bust. Julio, there's a chance he gets 2 catches for 20, and that's his game. And and then they could have 38 points as a Bucks team. He's not part of that offense anymore.
Right.
But he is being used more. That PCL or MCL. The PCL he had is definitely a little bit in the rear mirror. So
It sounded like you're talking reverse at that.
I know, I was like reverse. But no, it's I definitely from that question, Jones. The whole Bucks offense, obviously, we just picked 2 dudes. That's good.
All right. Miles Sanders is my dude. 21 carries for 143, 2 touchdowns, 3 catches.
Surprisingly
for 17.
very good all year long.
He has kind of sustained it. I mean, I credit Jalen Hurts. I was tempted to go Jalen Hurts, but Miles Sanders has been the more impressive. I mean, we always knew Jalen Hurts was a fantasy asset, but Miles Sanders sustaining him. I mean, he even tweeted before the season, he's like, don't draft me. I'm not getting any touchdowns.
No, because the Eagles have been scary. They always 9 running backs at a time. And then Jordan Howard steals everybody's touchdowns. He used to do that every year. So, I mean,
not anymore.
Not there. So, but it's not even Boston. Even Boston Scott would take it. Gainwell catches the ball well. He gets little touches. They have Trey Sermon just for fun. But it looks like Sanders has eliminated that thought process, and now it's definitely a one-man backfield for that team.
All right. For duds, this one kind of makes me sad because in the beginning of the year, he was the dude I was taking at the end of drafts.
Oh, I have him. I know.
I looked like
hard.
I looked like a genius right at first. I was like, yeah, I stole him at the end of the drafts, which is great.
Dotson too.
I'm the idiot that's still rolling him out and to get 1 to 2 fantasy points a week. It's Curtis Samuel. 0 targets last week. Just no targets at all. They're not even using him as a wide receiver anymore.
His targets with Wentz and with Heineke are like night and day.
That's the key part that people don't realize. That's the difference. He was a Wentz guy
with Wentz.
He was a Wentz guy.
Now he's down to 3 with Heineke. It's rough.
Yeah, but
Heineke literally latches on to McLaurin. Sorry.
Yeah, he got 0 targets. He didn't get 0 fantasy points though because he had 4 carries for 14.
He ended around he's been ended around since Carolina.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So it sucks because you look back and there was a streak where you're like Curtis Samuel's a competent wide receiver 3. You could just throw him in.
They've been waiting for that. He missed all year last year with that soft tissue stuff.
It's gone. It's all gone right now. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, if I need a roster spot, like he's like on the fringe right now.
He is on the
That's how
fringe.
it's kind of sad. Yeah.
No, I
But,
totally
yeah, that's
agree.
it.
No, and that's all I thought. That whole offense was like it's weird. It changed. Like Wentz is a very spread it out kind of guy. Dotson was getting a lot. Even John Bates was the tight end. Logan Thomas back was getting a little bit. But now it looks like Heineke like
Heineke's just feeding McLaurin, which
feeds
is
McLaurin.
great for
Yeah,
McLaurin owners.
Yeah,
but
it's fine. He
the
deserves
rest of the
it.
offense is rough.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, my dude, I'm breaking protocol and I'm just going the Rams. Just the whole
Just
Rams.
the whole team.
Just the whole team.
He's breaking big protocols here, Justin.
Wow. Yeah.
He didn't want me to do it, but I was like, what team in fantasy do you just not start anyone?
How dare you?
Who's starting a Ram?
I'm
what
starting
Ram are you
Kyren
starting?
Williams, baby.
Yeah, how much of a dud was that last week? 11
He got me
carries
like
for
he got
35.
like 10 fantasy points. I can live with that. That's all right. He got 70% of snaps.
The fact that you're happy about that with the Rams is exactly my point.
That's it. That's like 10
That's their
fantasy
peak.
points.
What is he
the
going to have?
equivalent.
3 touchdowns? They have no offense.
Oh no, he's not
Line,
going to score a
anything.
touchdown.
Yeah.
No, he won't score.
No.
If he breaks,
Robinson's
if he breaks
out.
10,
Yeah.
it's a win. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like
saying.
you're not
If I
starting
get,
Van Jefferson. You might start Scrawny Neck, but
if I get like 5 carries for like 30 yards, that's a little unrealistic. If I can get 30 yards rushing and then maybe like 5 catches,
I feel
which is what I've been
sorry
seeing.
for your fantasy team, Justin. You should be shooting higher than that.
In a 14 team
You-
4 flex,
You're,
bro.
you're
this
blinded
is-
by your love of Kyren Williams.
He didn't even get 10 points last week.
He
He had
didn't.
35 yards rushing and 25 yards receiving, 3
Oh,
catches.
Okay, that's fair. I can
It's
live
not
with
10.
that.
It's
I'm
not
just
10.
saying.
I actually, can I be honest with you? When you guys were talking, it took me a little bit to do the math, but I realized
Well,
it
I'm
wasn't
glad
10.
someone's doing the math here.
Okay,
Anyways,
so what
we'll
all I'm
move
saying
on.
is,
as long
yeah,
as
no,
Bryce Perkins is under center, all
100%
Rams.
Rams suck. I
He can't
100%
throw.
agree.
They don't have
I-
a line and he can't throw. That doesn't
I
help.
still think
No wide
the-
receivers anymore. Robinson's out with the stress fracture in his foot.
Yep.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, in a pinch, you got to start
Nope.
somebody.
Not doing it.
What are you, Betty Crocker
doing
in a
it.
pinch?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm gonna
Yeah.
sprinkle a little
Yeah.
Kyren Williams. Keep
Who
an
the
eye.
Rams get this week?
70% of running back snaps. Cam Akers sucks.
He's
Kyren
not-
Williams
against-
probably sucks
yeah.
too, but he
Against the
sucks
Seahawks,
less.
you might be starting them. They get the Seahawks this week.
Seahawks have a
Just saying.
terrible defense
Watch
in general.
out.
Yeah.
When Kyren Williams, I didn't want to call him
I would lo-
Skyren.
I know.
That's kind of an
Williams.
awesome name, right?
Yeah.
No, when he scores 10 fantasy points, watch out. I'm coming back, and
I
I'm
can't
gonna
wait
be
for
screaming
Kyren
it
to
from the
prove me wrong.
rooftops.
Anyways, Taylor, you're dead.
Um,
Please, Kyren, prove me wrong.
Yeah.
my dud is Peoples Jones. So Peoples Jones, been very, very good this year. Surprise. A lot of people, like you said, a lot of people like Samuel. He looked like kind of a genius when you drafted him. Brissett has been very good at sustaining 2 receivers, which is something I didn't think. Actually, with the tight
Surprising,
tight
yeah.
end, he's sustained 3 fantasy relevant people. I don't know if it was sad that he was leaving because you got Watson coming back this week.
I think a lot of people love him in that locker room.
Yeah,
He'll still be around. So
no, he seems like he was respected.
He's a leader,
When the
definitely.
Garoppolo situation, he was respected with the Patriots with
Right.
Brissett. So I have Peoples Jones 4 catches, 16 yards. He's been doing like double that and catches and double like maybe 8 catches and like 67 yards a game the last like 3 or 4 maybe almost a month now. So that's a dud. Needed him. I actually personally have him in a bunch of leagues. I felt like a genius, like I was talking about. But just not helpful as a flex option. He was definitely a disappointment. The Watson situation too, just talking about the Brown situation. I wouldn't think anything about their running. I would continue to Watson's will feed both of them.
Right.
It's just you're gonna have to see who he likes and how he utilizes in that offense. Because when he was on the Houston, he did not like tight ends too much. So you got to watch Njoku. I wouldn't worry too much about Cooper. I think something like Watson, he needs to feed.
he's the number one. He gets
needs
fed.
to
Yeah.
feed the number one. But the number 2s, you got to see. Maybe he likes another guy more. Maybe it's just like he's thrown to the running back more than most. Like we're gonna have to see. So it's like,
Who's the last wide receiver you threw to? Like Hopkins?
yeah, Hopkins.
That long ago?
So I know it's been too long, right? Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
So no, they'll have to figure stuff out. But like Peoples Jones, an interesting case because is it Brissett's guy or is it he's a legit number 2 in an offense?
Right.
So that's something it sucks, but you're gonna have to find out
It's a
that
rare,
live.
It's a rare fantasy
Yeah.
situation that something pops up week 13 that just
Yeah,
completely reshapes an offense.
because it's someone
Yeah.
that like was a guaranteed flex guy in your lineup,
Right.
So
So
now
Yeah, I've been on record the last few weeks, obviously just saying I'm not. Everyone's so hyped for this return and like what it means for the Browns offense. I just don't think it's been almost 2 years of no football. I mean, granted, he's probably chucked the old pigskin in his backyard, I guess, but
or on like a training field,
or like in like $1 million training.
He's allowed to.
exactly something like that.
Yeah, but either way, I don't think it's something that you can do is just saddle up week 13 and just assume that you're going to fall in and everything's going to go well.
And that's
What
one thing
sucks
Doc
is-
said too, right? He
Yeah.
said Russ is going to be a key part. There's no, like you said, there's no way this. I know he's very ultra talented, but there's no way you just, like you said, jump on a field after 2 years of not playing and be playing with ultra talented people on the opposite end, right?
Right.
Defensive
So
side.
my skepticism is also like I see who he's playing this week, right? And it's like hard. It's really hard to be like he's not going to play well this week. However, everyone's like it's a revenge game. This isn't revenge. This isn't
It's not revenge.
It's not revenge. If anything, it's
Yep.
revenge for Houston.
Yes,
and honestly,
that's
Houston
the
probably
revenge.
shows up. If there was a game this season where Houston shows up, it's this one.
Oh,
Like-
if they've had any game circled on the calendar, it's this game. Yeah.
It's this game. They've been literally like waiting for this one, right? The whole season's a bust. I wouldn't be shocked to see them play the game of their season this weekend. I don't know. I'm not going to say that
I like
Deshaun
that.
Watson's going to be horrible because of that, but I feel like people are overlooking the Texans because of the Texans. But they're more mad than Deshaun Watson is. Deshaun Watson's happy. This
yeah,
isn't
he's
revenge.
playing. I
He's
totally
happy.
agree.
He's out of there.
He's seen this as a warm
He
up
literally
game.
sat
like,
out last year and not getting
Right.
paid and didn't care. He wanted to watch that team fail. So I would be like,
That's the revenge for the Texans. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Texans' revenge game.
take 2 letters out of the alphabet and say, F you.
Oh, that's it. Okay. I was
Sorry.
like, AB? I don't know. Antonio Brown?
No,
Oh, okay.
sorry.
All right. Anyway,
let's get
watch
to the
out for that.
leftovers.
Yeah.
Locked
All right,
on
let me-
or hooked on phonics.
The leftovers.
You're doing math. You're like recounting the alphabet for us. It's like, so many lessons going on.
So many lessons, yeah.
First name on this list, DJ Chark. I don't know. He
He's
cut
back. He's
Lions
back.
all ton. Their defense is not good. So
he's back.
yeah, I don't
He's back. We
know.
did
It's just everyone who drafted him like as a flyer or just like ankle problems again. All right, drop him.
Yeah,
So
he's
he's
definitely hit waivers.
13%
hard.
owned. Yeah.
No one was
There's no
holding
reason for
DJ
that team to
Chark
run,
this.
right, with Williams. And they're not really winning games, and they're
I
always
don't know if it's
down
Josh Reynolds
games.
either. He's
Yeah.
missed a bunch of games with his knee. So maybe it's Chark. Maybe Chark's the healthier one.
I think
Yeah.
Shark's a good move. He's definitely talented. Like you said, everybody forgets with that ankle. Like he was the premier Jaguars wide receiver for
Oh,
a lot.
absolutely.
So yeah, that's definitely
Yeah, I
a good
would
one.
say if you've been holding Jamison Williams all season, this is the Jamison Williams opportunity. Drop Jamison Williams and pick DJ Chark up. If you think that this is going to be it, you're not going to get Jamison Williams at
They
before
already said
the-
they're going to be cautious with him, ease him
Right.
in, all this stuff. So
So if
Absolutely.
you're
Yeah.
again, if you're holding that whatever lottery ticket, just try DJ Chark out because he's actually going to see the football field. You never know; something could happen there. So I feel like
That helps.
that's a great leftover because
Right.
he does. There's not a lot of people. It seems like right now this season, like in past seasons, you see it where there's like a lineup of people coming back from injury. This is like one of the best, and that's bad. Like I don't know. It's DJ Chark.
That's why I like Landry too. That's the next one on the list. He's coming back from injury. A lot of people forgot about. He hasn't had that game yet where you're like, oh, Landry's back from injury, but it's bound to happen. And like you said, in the playoffs, you need to be taking these like name brand people that have like clout, not like you said, like the Jameson Williams that you're like waiting for that big game. Landry, all he needs to do is catch 4 catches, and that's a game for him.
Olave opens everything up. He just needs
Yeah.
to hit the underneath with Dalton.
He just hasn't
They
played
played the
enough.
Niners, and they
Yeah.
played the Niners last week. No one was going to do anything,
Like,
especially Kamara not do anything. So
Arguably, when he went into the season, he was operating with Winston as the quarterback. So, arguably, people don't realize like it's hard to like learn with a new quarterback on the fly. So, like once he gets a little rapport, it's like rapport with Andy Dalton, then I think that would be key. Like you said, all you need from him, you're not expecting a lot from him. You just need a 4 catch, like 67-yard game, and maybe a touchdown. That's good.
You know who's good? Olave's good. That guy's
Olave's
good.
very
Olave's
good.
really good.
That was a good draft.
Which
pick,
I don't know.
yes.
I don't want to. We don't really touch on a lot of dynasty, but like in a long-term league, who would you rather have, Olave or Garrett Wilson?
I'd rather have Olave. Because
Yeah?
I think the quarterback situation improves in Saints. There's no Winston. Winston and Dalton were never long term. So if you get someone like maybe either the new quarterbacks talk about dynasty, one of the
Yeah.
young Stroud, someone like that, or you get like a free agent that no one knows. Like Saints is a good team to play for. Like their defense is getting a little older, but they have money that improve in different spots. They always have free agent stuff. They have they have a decent like
Their
fan
defense
base.
ain't bad. Yeah.
So I think that's a team that can be like, oh, let me get whatever the next free agent Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
On the other hand,
There's
Garrett
not a
Wilson
bunch of-
already got a QB upgrade.
Huh?
Garrett
Yeah,
Wilson
Garrett
already got a QB upgrade.
Oh, and Mike White.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mike White's leftover worthy. I feel like if he's hanging around, there's
We
He
had
was
him
our
we
leftover
had him
last week.
We can't.
Oh yeah,
we told people to
still
do
some
that.
Mike
We
White
look
left
smart.
over here.
You're reheating him too much. Just throw it
Yeah,
out.
he's overheated.
You're gonna like kill people with these leftovers.
Yeah, no,
Apparently, it's the Jaguars team's leftovers because we got Jermichael Hasty and Marvin Jones on this list.
Marvin Jones,
Marvin
I'm surprised on.
Jones.
7% seems low, but I was looking at his stats and I'm like, oh, that's why.
He was huge in that Baltimore game.
Yeah, no, he's essential. He route runs really well. I think Lawrence is trying to throw to Zay Jones, and then he just throws to the other Jones.
Wrong
He's just like, I'm
Jones.
throwing to a
Ends up
Jones. Yeah.
it's a leftover of the Zay Jones sketches. But no, he's a good player. Christian Kirk's there. They're a team now that if Trevor Etienne's not 100%, Travis, I just said his brother's name.
It's
I know.
all
Whoa. If Etienne can play, even if he's a little bit hampered, they're going to throw more. Lawrence was a key part of that offense this week. He was almost one of my my dudes. So no, I think that's a good offense to latch onto a veteran, like we just talked about. That's our theme: latching onto a veteran or decent wide receiver that's in a semi-decent offense that can help you going forward.
I think Darrell Henderson is nothing to worry about either.
Oh no,
Jermichael Hasty.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For
Like
sure.
Henderson has never looked like Hasty did in that one game.
No.
So I'm like, how does that gonna like?
and I
Henderson
guess
would kill for that game.
that backfield's weird, obviously, because if something
Snoop
did happen to
Dogg is here.
Etienne, everybody was going to go to Hasty because Hasty did look good.
Right.
But like, Snoop Connor would have also got a bunch of work. Like that wasn't just going to be like here's 80% snaps.
I don't know about
Hasty.
that, but no, I get it.
No, I'm saying like the roles as far as like the running back, like the rushing roles. Like I just don't think that Hasty is that guy.
No, I think you're right.
But again, we're
catches
talking about
passes.
nothing. Etienne's coming back allegedly.
Right.
We'll see.
It's
how that
easier
plays
to
out
like
this week.
adapt when you're in the middle of the game. And you're like, oh, Hasty can get all the touches. But like once a team's like, all right, we're gonna like game plan for Hasty.
Right.
Hasty can have negative yardage very easily.
Yeah, for
So-
sure. I just
Najee
added.
misses. Go ahead.
What's that? I just added a name to the list. Tyler Huntley. We just talked about it. Lamar Jackson.
Oh, for sure.
3% owned.
It depends on how your quarterback situation is or how many quarterbacks you're playing in your league.
You got
you have-
Andrews. If you have Andrews and you have a quarterback situation that's weird, stack it up. You know?
No, if you have Mark Andrews, smile if Huntley's playing.
Yes.
Yep.
Because Tyler Andrews, or we were just
He's a-
talking about Tyler
Tyler
Andrews.
they're
Andrews
basically
makes
the
the
same
same
person.
person.
Basically
Yeah.
the same person.
No,
I
I'm saying
agree.
like they're like fused together. Like Mark
Yes.
Andrews was the tight end one last year because of the stint. I mean, granted, he was good with Lamar,
That's
but
correct,
he was
though.
great with Huntley. Like
Yep.
Huntley
Right.
was peppering this man like no other, and that's amazing.
I don't know if
feel
this is a simplistic thought, but I'm thinking if I'm a backup quarterback, like even like a Cooper Rush when he came in, like I'm throwing the CD Lamb 900 times.
Yeah.
Like Colt McCoy.
So he can go and be
Colt
like, I like this
McCoy
guy.
is already good. You know why he's good? Because
Make
he's
a friend
smart.
with the number one wideout.
No, exactly. Like he's smart. Colt McCoy's like, I'm gonna throw to DeAndre Hopkins 90 times. It worked perfectly fine.
Yep.
So it's like I just think as that should be a game plan for a back quarterback is throw to the number one guy a lot because you're already like at a disadvantage for being bad, like you're a backup. So like throw to the better player. I don't know. It seems very simplistic, but it usually works more often than not.
I got 2 questions, then we'll get to shootout or drought.
Okay.
If Najee can't play, is it Jalen Warren coming back from his hamstring or
it's
Benny
not.
Snell?
No, it's not. It's none of those. That's what's
Ooh.
crazy. It's such a weird question. It's Anthony McFarlane. He was the better back
Really?
in that whole game. Benny Snell's the definition
He's-
of a plotter.
Such a plotter,
He's
yeah.
so slow. McFarlane looks like he's going to take the receiving work, and that's the yard. That's probably the most valuable part of Harris' game that is going to be replicated by anybody on that offense. Warren was the more dynamic running back, but if he can't make it, you can't just go to Snell. I would do McFarlane. McFarlane looked like a better runner, and also he was really, really good in the pass game, and that's going to be what you want in fantasy.
It sucks
So
because
you're-
Warren looks so good, and then he
Yeah.
picked up a hamstring, so avoid him.
No, Jalen Warren. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He does like if he was fully healthy, you'd be like, oh, this is a smash for sure because he's gonna get the full.
I don't know if this
workload.
is
It's
weird,
gonna
but
be
like I feel
great.
like that's like because he was trying. So, I don't know if he's like really good. I feel like
I
that was
don't
like
know.
he was
Yeah.
extending all his power.
Maybe it was because
You know?
it was compared to whatever Najee Harris was going through.
He
Because
was like,
Yeah.
oh, that guy knows how to run.
Right.
It looks like Jalen Warren really wants to be better than Najee Harris, but is he?
and
We
then
don't
he
know.
pulled it.
We don't know.
Yeah,
Najee-
it's like when you're old and you're trying to like outrun your young son. Like you immediately pulled a hamstring, and he's like
Yeah.
just trying too hard. You know?
Honestly,
Yeah.
Najee Harris is like the running back example of just when you have the ankle weights on, and then Jalen Warren's when you take them off.
Yeah.
That's how he's looked this year.
That's fair.
Anyways,
That's fair.
second question is Marquise Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, who finishes rest of the season better?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Ah,
I think Marquise
I
Brown.
think you have to. Yeah, it's hard to. I think you have to say DeAndre Hopkins, but I'm almost mad DeAndre Hopkins came back because what we were getting from Marquise Brown was
it was
amazing.
so
amazing.
beautiful.
It was
It was
beautiful.
amazing.
It was beautiful. It's just
Yeah.
Hopkins is such like I've seen like videos like when he just walks in like receiver room, like he's the number one dude. Like he's like
Well, and Marquise Brown's fine with that because he's like,
fine with that. 'Cause he's
yeah.
always been like that.
He's
Like
younger.
speed. I think he can still get the routes. I think they haven't worked his whole packages in yet coming off injury.
he had 8 targets, so that's an encouraging sign week 1. I still don't think that's his ceiling for targets, but
if he gets,
they
just not gonna
know
get as
what
many
they have in
catches.
him. They know what they have in him, but
You need
you're
more
just
deep
hoping for
balls.
60 yards and a touchdown, something like that.
You need more
DeAndre
deep
Hopkins is
balls.
going to get the 8 catches, 90 yards, 100 yards.
And that's what Brown was getting early in the year. And
I
so it was
know.
so nice. And now you're not going to get that. So you need to rely on more of the deep passes. And honestly, this year, Kyler's not good this year. He hasn't been doing well for anybody. So he can do the intermediate stuff, but he hasn't done a dynamic, like deep throw to Brown. And we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
hopefully
there's a lot
we
of,
do. Yeah.
Like, Kyler Murray's an interesting dude. And you know, it's like always weird to hear like past people who have played with him talk about it. I don't know if you saw this clip from a podcast or they were talking, Patrick Peterson was talking and he was like, Kyler Murray doesn't care about anybody but Kyler Murray. So it's like, what, you know what I mean? It's almost like I don't know. I'm not gonna compare it to the Russell Wilson situation.
I feel like I trust
but
Patrick Peterson
different.
a little bit. It's very
All right. He's
Did you
played
hear
with him.
about-
He knows him. You know what I mean? He's, I don't know. It's weird.
You guys heard about the Russell Wilson birthday party? They threw a birthday party for him, and like half the team came.
Not the
I don't know
whole
if that's
team.
that
Not
good
the
or
whole team.
bad.
Okay.
Is that good or bad?
That's what people are saying in the comments. Is like, is it half full or half empty?
that's a really tough
Honestly,
situation.
if I was, I wouldn't invite the whole team.
That's a lot of people. That's like 26 guys, right? 53
Invite
man
your-
roster.
There's no way
Inviting-
you're friends with the entire team. I think that's just like people think he should be friends with the entire team, but like he should
You gonna
really
send an email. Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't it like when you're like talking to people and you're like, oh, why are you talking to them over there? You should be over here in our class. Like, why is he talking to the defense?
Yeah.
Like if he's like hanging out with Patrick Surtain, I'd be like, what are you doing?
That was the
Honestly,
other-
half the team is pretty impressive. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Like,
to me, it's
honestly,
like,
you know what I would say? If one of the offensive linemen didn't come, I'd be like,
Okay.
usually
Oh,
that's
yeah.
when I'd be like, oh, the center didn't come to my birthday party. I'd be like, oh, that's my homie. Like, what's
But
going
you know,
on here?
Oh, they're
also
obligated.
on the contrary, like if you invited me and it's our only day off, like it's that week.
I might not go.
Hey guys, come to my birthday party. I'd be like,
Hi, we're in the middle of a huge season that
Come
you
on,
kind of
man.
messed up a little bit.
I'm not going to Chuck E.
I don't
Cheese's,
know,
bro. Like I
maybe-
got other things to do. Like what is
Yeah,
this?
like hang out
I'm
with
not
my
gonna-
family. I only have like one day off. Yeah,
It's catered by Subway. It's all Danger Witches at his party.
it has to be right.
It's spicy.
Let's say we're all in the same place. You think you can get half the company to come to your birthday party?
No. I mean, we're kind of a tight.
I'm not going to Charlotte.
Well, no. Okay,
I'm just
listen.
saying, let's say we're in the same
we're a
location.
small. We don't have a
Let's meet
whole
in the
bunch of
middle.
people, but I'm trying to
Meet in
imagine like
Indianapolis.
even like the amount of staff. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how many players on a football team. I know they suit up.
53 man
53
roster, so
roster, yeah.
26,
But I mean, like,
27 went.
More than that. You saying only people who suited up? There's more than
Correct.
one team than that, but
Oh,
I
you
feel
mean
like
like
that's good.
he's probably inviting all the like locker room aides and everything.
yeah. If
That would
I
be
send
bad
an
if he
email
invited
blast out,
if he
and then
invited
only
everybody
half.
and the staff, then that makes sense. But I don't think that's what the case was.
I don't think so either.
the article is Russell Wilson is back. He's got the respect of the locker room.
Well, that
That's
was
what it
the
is.
other best comment I saw was, only the defense showing up for him again.
Oh, that's kind of funny though. That's good.
That's good.
All right,
right, let's
shootouts or droughts.
That's the best I got.
That's
That's the best I got.
the
Turns
best
out,
team
remember
music you
I
got?
promised it last week I'd have it. I've been traveling the entire week, so now I realize I had no time. So
You didn't like come up with it in your head while
Yeah,
you're
it was
like,
here, right
doing
here.
all that driving.
what else do you want? That's a shootout.
You haven't
Here's
been
the drought.
traveling the entire week. Don't
Here's
lie.
the drought. That's a drought.
So that's what you got to play after the drought games.
Yes.
I like it.
Which, yeah.
Did you just
That's
arrive
gimmicky.
home? You just arrived home recently?
Minutes ago. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah, I've been all over the place.
Top game of the week over under Chiefs and Bengals 52.5. Anyone stopping either one of those offenses? It was a treat last time with Burrow and Mahomes going at it back and forth.
Themselves, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's in Cincinnati. I don't know. I think the Chiefs defense is definitely better.
A lot better.
Does Juju step in as the clear number one target again?
I'm
Kadarius
not going
Toney
to try
still
to pick.
recovering. Mecole on IR. Whatever else they got.
The clear number one target is
Sky
Travis
Moore?
Kelsey.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is.
All
It is
right.
Travis
100%
Kelce.
Yeah.
that. But yeah, don't
Are you-
make me
you're not-
pick
are you
anything
taking a-
outside of that.
You're not taking a flyer on Sky Moore in this game, DFS wise.
I take
No.
flyers on Scantling because that's his definition of his game. So you're gonna get burnt, but like he helps sometimes. Schuster is just he's weird. He needs volume, and when he doesn't get volume, he doesn't get the deep catches he used to back in the day. So he's been in trouble spots for games that he's being guarded well.
Right. He should have been
Any-
consistent, but he's not been that in that offense.
Right.
Any
Yeah.
Chiefs wide receiver or Jamar Chase this week?
Jamar Chase.
Ooh.
Does Kelsey count as a receiver?
No.
doesn't.
Wide receiver.
Jamar Chase then.
Okay, all right. I lean the same, but I feel like Taylor's
I don't know,
thinking about it.
Yeah, like Scantling might be better than Chase first game back, right?
I don't
It's
think
tough
you're
because
wrong.
we really don't know
I don't
what's
know.
going to happen, right? Like they'll
Right,
probably let him
right.
go out there and run some routes, but honestly, like if he runs one route, I'm like,
It's a good question though.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah.
Jaguars versus Lions is the next one. We've been all over the Jaguars this week. I think it's great for Etienne, Jamal Williams. Swift has kind of gone into oblivion, but we'll see. That could be the other shootout of the week.
That sounds like an automatic shootout. I don't know, just
I
think
feel
about
like-
those teams. We always think like, oh, those teams are really bad, and they just like have like 40 points.
Jaguars have a
each.
good defense, but
Right.
somehow I think that game's going to be a shootout.
I don't know.
Lions just bringing out of people.
I feel like I'd rather watch that game. I know everybody wants to watch Chiefs Bengals. It obviously means more in the standings. I don't know what it is about the Jags Lions. Those two teams that are just like, they're just like on paper never good. But I feel like this is going to be explosive, like you said. I feel like this could be a
The
fun game
Panthers
to
are on a
watch.
bye, so you get to watch a different team on Sunday.
Yeah, well,
It
that's
works.
great.
That's
That's
surprising.
a
Yeah, there
win
you
for
go.
me. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have to be clinically depressed on Sunday.
Sad, yeah.
Chargers Raiders is the next one.
Well, yeah, I don't have to be clinically depressed either because that was a good win last week for
Josh Jacobs
Raiders,
playing in
yeah.
that game. We'll see. No one did him for Beast of the Week, but for
It's
Dude of
like
the
back
week.
to back weeks where he's like not. Somebody's got to crown him, right? Like if he wasn't last week.
But you guys have this weird thing where you're like, oh, you can't pick like
He's
an
too
automatic
obvious.
dude. Yeah, I always like think about that when I thought about it too, and then even
That's
Justin or Jacob, Ryan, I think, are guy in the room. He was just like, hey, that's injury related. That's a good one. I'm like, yeah, that's actually technically true, but like, are
what's
we?
No,
what
that
are we
would've-
supposed to
yeah,
say
it
about
would've
that?
worked.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs is good. I like the undercover dudes.
He had 330 yards. He's definitely a dude. It's like,
I'd say
yeah.
that's pretty good.
It's
yeah.
automatic.
No, yeah, I get
guess
it.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
No, but that's definitely an issue because there is some tweakage that he had at the end of the game, and then
Mm.
he had that long touchdown, but it kind of like got swept under the rug, and now we'll monitor his practice reports. But we were already surprised that he did that already with the calf injury picked up late in the
Right. I
Mike
don't know if he
Williams?
gets 30
Yeah.
carries in back-to-back games.
Mike Williams never playing football again, or what? What's up?
I don't think he's close to. I mean,
He reactivated it. It's
Yeah.
only 2 weeks since
Right,
the
that's what
reactivation,
I'm-
so yeah.
Just I'm saying if he's on your roster, like, you're just marking him out the rest of the season?
He
Like,
might.
is
No,
he going to help
he'll
you
be
at
back
some
for
point?
fantasy playoffs. Next week might be realistic. Week after maybe, but
Okay, all right, that's fair.
it's just too soon this week.
it's
to
hard.
expect
It's
him
he's
to
one of
come
those
back
ones. It's
and
hard to be like, oh,
8
let's start him in his
targets,
first
yeah.
game back. You know,
Yeah.
have to see what he
You got
can
to
do.
see it, how
Yeah.
he's moving, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'll be
So
one to
it's
monitor.
one of those ones you get burnt maybe sometimes because you leave him in the first game back as well. But those are the ones
I'd
like
rather get burned like that instead
Yeah.
of like put him in and get a goose egg.
right.
Browns Texans is the fourth one, the fourth highest total of the week. I like Justin's theory. I think the Texans are showing up and they shut down that offense.
In Houston. Come on, man. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
gonna be fun to watch and just see, because obviously it's easy to just say Texans, they are bad. They're bad.
That's a TV. It's a TV game.
Is
yeah.
Kyle Allen starting?
Oh boy.
Yeah. He didn't
I
look
don't
good,
know.
but I
Texans-
mean, he's better than Davis Mills, maybe. So
He's just newer than Davis Mills. So
Derek Stingley might be out again with his hamstring. So that means like
That's a
you
big
you
deal.
should be able to throw against them. Cooper, even Peoples Jones that we talked about should have a better game. So
What's the?
That's
I
a good
wonder
look.
what the spread is on that game. I don't know. Like, is it? I'd be curious. I don't know. That
you're
could
not
be
even a
something-
betting man, Justin.
I'm not a betting man. I'm really not. I'm just like, I don't know. They got. I'm sure they're gonna get a bunch of points, right? Like,
yeah, it's -7 for Cleveland. Yeah.
it could
No,
be something.
Houston's
That's enough.
interesting to have. No, that's definitely a good thought because, like you said, like I don't think Watson's coming out and throwing 250 and 2. Like that's an interesting. And Houston +7, that's a good number. Like they lose by touchdown probably at most, I would say, right?
Anything that can make a Texans game exciting.
Well, that's what, if there's not enough drama. What do you mean, Deshaun Watson's first game back? This is
No,
gonna
that's
be
going to be
the
a
most
very
exciting
watch
game of the
that's-
season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to be a very watch match
Yeah.
for sure.
So that'll be fun. That'll be fun to keep an eye on this weekend. But yeah, anything else for the greater good? I don't know. I'm really hyped for this Texans game. It's stupid. I don't know why.
Taylor, any World Cup stuff? Speaking
So
of patriotic,
yes, USA looked really well, but Pasilic, he got the little pelvic contusion.
Pulisic, we got
I'm not going to say him right. Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. I want to say Christian then. Yeah, we expect him to play on Saturday
Yep.
versus the Netherlands. They need him. He's vital to that team. So
No,
that's
the good news is just a contusion. That's
Right.
They got 4 days off, I think, until Saturday. So
that's the key part. He's
Good to
not
see him
playing
back up
every
there.
single day. Like he can have some time off. Neymar, he was out for the rest of the group stage. We'll have to monitor. Brazil's going to be playing.
Right.
Obviously, they've locked their spot up. They're the favorites to win, going in the tournament, and they've looked at. So Neymar's just going to help that and juice that up. France, on the other hand, I know they locked their spot up. Horrible injuries going into the tournament. They picked up the Lucas Hernandez one. If Mbappe doesn't keep, so they just lost to Tunisia today too, which is crazy. Now was more they were definitely benching their players.
Starting they were through, yeah.
But yeah, that's the kind of thing that they weren't already a strong team going forward. So if Mbappe, I know I don't say any of these players right, if he doesn't have a good game, they're going to be relying on like a porous midfield. It's youthful, but it's not really effective.
Maybe get a lucky goal from Rabiot.
Yeah,
something like that.
They have the Ballon d'Or. Probably not saying that right either. That Karim Benzema is not going to be. He's not at all there. They're struggling to score at the forward there, so that's an issue. And then Harry Kane, he for England, ankle injury, hasn't looked good the last couple games with it. So he scored the most goals last World Cup, or he was tied with it. So hasn't done much this World Cup. He doesn't need the ankle necessarily to move forward. He's not as speedy. He's very link up, but that's vital for England's attack. And if he doesn't play 100%, then they're going to lose.
Right. Not being impressed with Senegal without Mane.
That's what I'm thinking.
Honest, I feel bad. I'm a little out of the loop here. You guys are just riffing right here. This is, I mean, granted, this is still football, right? It's another fantasy football show. We're getting that little segment to wrap it up here.
International, yep.
Yeah. Change the logo up for a second. Yeah, for sure.
Make it a soccer ball with the football on it.
Right. Yeah, there's key teams that played well that I didn't expect, like Senegal without their main people, but there's also teams like South Korea and Wales who had players that their Bale and Son that their main stars didn't play well and their team didn't as well.
Right.
All right, we cover all types of football. SICScore.com. You can check it out. Get the latest articles, latest injuries. We're breaking it all down there. So check us out there at SICScore on social media. Give us a follow, and we'll see you guys next week. We're literally, it's fantasy football playoff time. Like we're priming up. This is scary.
Next 2 weeks, absolutely.
Oh boy. All right, we'll catch you guys later. Football. Go!